Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today we are doing one of the prize winners giveaways. So when I got to 5,000 subs, I gave 2 random subscribers the chance for me to come in and do a takeover video. So Silhouette Gaming was one of those. Silhouette Gaming is already a pretty well established account. So if I just kind of do a quick roam around, we've already got a pretty decent great haul, building towards the level 10 mission so that she can work her way up to the Arbiter. So you can see here the next one for her is a great haul bonus. So pretty well established. There's already a very good clan boss team in play for Ultimate Nightmare. She's got an unkillable composition, which I'll show you actually, so I don't need to do any work on that. That's already running and running well. So the kind of premise of it is they basically got a Draco Morph that's doing all the damage. There is a Rosh card who is putting his skill Zone of Protection on, which blocks damage for 2 turns. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. And then there are 3 Painkeepers, all low level. I think they're all level 3 or 4. But basically these Painkeepers have got an ability to reduce the cooldown of all ally skills by 1 turn. So what's happening is they're rotating that ability, cooling down each other's cooldown ability, and it means that Roshcard is constantly placing this unkillable for 2 turns in time to keep everybody alive. Draco is the only damage dealer in this composition, and because of the way the cooldown works, he's always doing his ability which places poisons. So it's really interesting. I've seen quite a few compositions like it. You can kind of replace the Rosh card with another person that either does unkillable or block damage. So I think what we're going to do, there's no need for me to do anything with that team. That's already working really well. So what I've actually been asked to do on this account is to get a better running team for spiders and to build an arena team that's going to be more effective. So let's just have a quick look and see how things are going in dungeons. I know that she's able to kill spiders, but only to level 16. So obviously this becomes important for the next stages of missions. Let's just see how we're doing elsewhere. So same again, cleared 16 here. Can clear 20 dragons, so that's not an issue. And can clear up to 18 on Ice Golem. So actually dungeons is her priority rather than clan boss, which is quite interesting. It's probably the first one where I haven't really had to do a lot of work on a clan boss team, but that's pretty cool. And also arena is the priority. So at the moment, let's just see who we're running. So we've got interesting team actually. So it looks like I don't really, if I'm honest, looking at this team here, I don't really know what the team's trying to achieve. So let's get into building a team. So what I would always try and do is have a speed lead. That's fine, but the speed lead ideally gives us a speed boost, but this one doesn't. The speed lead then goes into somebody that crowd controls, which I guess maybe that's what Miscreated Monster is doing. You would then go into somebody that reduces defense, which we don't have here, and then you go into a nuke. That's the way I generally would build a speed team. So I think I'm going to have a play around and see what champions we've got to play with. Actually, let's just have a quick proper look at the roster here. So we do have somebody that's got the AoE crowd control. We've got an absolute nuker in Biggin. I really like Biggin. Probably more than Skull Crown for arena actually. So we've got 2 great arena champions there for damage and control. What else have we got here? Got some really good champions in this setup actually. Tyrell can give us our kind of AoE decreased defense. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a play around. I don't know all the champions. I've not done I've not spent any time kind of pre-looking at what we've got. I imagine there's some stuff in the vault too. Yeah, we've got quite a few kind of legendaries that are just kind of ready to be leveled up. So yeah, so I'm going to do some work on champions, do some gearing for arena and dungeons. I think what I'm going to do though is, because it's probably the first time I've had one on any of my takeover videos, let's do the claim on online as well. 1 shard, not bad. That stat straight in the bin. I didn't see what the second one was there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to let this team run so you can see it in action, see how it actually works. But I'm not going to do it on auto to start with. I'm going to show you, or I will do it on auto, but I'll show you it in slower motion. So you see here, 3 pain keepers, they're not high level. All you need to do is to be able to get their skill, which cools down other people's abilities, skilled up. And you need somebody that does block damage or unkillable, and then you need a damage dealer. So what I'm going to do is just slow this down so you can see it running. So it's on ×1. I put it on auto, and you see, so on auto, poisons go on, reduce cooldown 1, reduce cooldown 2, reduce cooldown 3, unkillable goes up, clan boss hits, and then because of all those reduced cooldowns, we go straight into a poison again. And these guys all hit for 1 turn. I'm just going to speed it up for a second. Hits again. Hits again. They've all, see here, they've all lost 1 turn of their unkillable. He then comes back in, does his hit. The damage comes on. We get, unfortunately, we got the block debuff, so it doesn't really matter. But we've got defense down on as well. Now everyone's doing their cooldown again. Unkillable comes back up, and then it's kind of rinse and repeat from there. Really, it looks like it's got them in poison gear. I probably would advise not to do that, because actually this guy lays enough poisons. You don't want to be filling up spaces really with this, but maybe, I don't know, maybe that is right. But yeah, ultimately it just kind of rinse and repeats, runs fully auto. The unkillable never wears off, and yeah, you're kind of constantly throwing poisons up. Draco's great for this because he throws so many poisons up. Occult Brawler's great for this as well because he naturally puts on poisons for a long time. And yeah, I'd say most people that are pulling a lot of shards should be able to do something like this. Because Pain Keeper's the only barrier here. As long as you've got someone that can do an unkillable sort of setup, Pain Keeper's the only barrier. So I'm going to let this run off. You need to keep an eye on the time. You don't want to be going for too much longer than sort of 25-30 minutes with it on full auto. Otherwise, the boss actually gets to a stage where he resets and you don't do any damage. So I'll let this run. I'll show you at the end, and then what I'll do is I'll quickly show you a kind of setup for what their stats actually look like for speeds and that type of thing at the end. See, 25 minutes in, nothing has changed. It's literally running exactly the same as that all the way through. I'm going to end it here because I don't want to risk losing a key. I don't know exactly what times we can run to, but that is going to be the unkillable comp. So I know there's a few different variations on it. I mean, that's 41 million damage. I'm not sure if this team has got enough damage to push it through to a 1 key. I don't think it does. I think you run out of time before that happens. But if you were to, let me just show you where we are with these guys. So this guy's got no masteries yet. If you were to get War Master here, that does probably another, that's probably worth to you maybe a couple more million damage. If you were to get these Pain Keepers up to 60s and get them War Master as well, then you probably get a bit more damage, and also you can put them in gear that actually hurts a bit more. It's still not going to be a huge amount. Your damage is always going to come mainly from these poisons. So then it's about whether you can stay alive for long enough and how far you can push the clan boss. But just to show you then, so I'm just going to show you quickly their setup. So we've got 191 speed on the Rush Guard, so he's just quicker than the clan boss, so he goes just before the clan boss. You can see here the gear's not even geared up. You don't even need to gear these guys up, you just need the right speed. The more you gear them up though, obviously the more damage you're going to push per key, so maybe there is an argument to do a bit more than what's being done here. But yeah, so Rush Guard 191 speed. You then get the Pain Keepers coming in at, so we've got here 199, 192, 193. So each of them just kind of slightly different to each other. And then you have Draco coming in at 200. So the idea is Rush Guard is the slowest. He's kind of like the speed you would do your counter attacker at for Ultimate Nightmare. You then have, in the next order is each Pain Keeper slightly quicker than the others. The rest of the stats mean nothing, by the way, because they're all unkillable. So anything you're putting on them is just to help boost damage, but you need to get to that right speed. And then lastly, Draco is the quickest, which means he's always going to do his poison skill when it's available, which is this one. So lays 4 poisons on, and again, so he's got War Master on, and he's got the abilities to try and extend his poisons, but that's it. So yeah, so that's the Unkillable comp. It's pretty cool. First time I've shown it on the channel. Pretty easy to do as soon as you get free Painkeepers, if you can get them. They are void, so they're hard to get, but they are void rares. There's not a huge amount of void rares, so quite a lot of people probably, if they've been playing for some time, have actually got some of these Painkeepers. And yeah, cool. So I'm going to get into building up a spider team next. So there's really not much of a cleanse that's needed in this account. It's in really good order. I've just taken some bits out where they've been farming just kind of recently, but actually the gear's in good order. We've got the right sort of items that have been kept, the right sort of sets have been prioritized. So yeah, this is decent. I've only sold off 50 odd items. So I guess the main thing here that needs work is gearing. And if I look through most of the champions, they're geared okay, but not geared to be super effective. There's a lot of champions that are kind of ready to go. I think some of these are quite new pulls actually from the recent double shard event. So people like Marta is a new pull. Miscreated Monster, don't know if that's a new pull, but the masteries are not done, but the scrolls are here. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking for the spider, we've got a Tyrant here who is excellent for spider. We've got Miscreated Monster who is excellent for spider. I think we're going to go with the AoE burn of a Tyrant into the shielding of a Miscreated Monster, and then the idea is to keep everybody alive and to keep the turn meter down. So that's what I'm going to aim for. I'm going to run through doing the masteries and gearing now on the team, and we'll come back in after that. Okay, so I think I've got the startings of a team here for spiders. So I've built up Tyrant, who's got the HP burn. He's going to be my main damage dealer. Just got him quite quick, quite a high amount of accuracy, and obviously he's missing banners and things like that. He's not ascended yet, but I think he's still going to be effective. I've then got Miscreated Monster, who I've just pushed massive HP, high accuracy, so he's going to be the person who's going to do my stuns. I'm actually just going to quickly run through and build up his ability to cast shields and increase buffs that he gives, and then kind of boost his accuracy as well. I do want him to have this so that when he hits the main spider, I'll reduce turn meter. That's good. And then let's get some damage on this side. Ideally right down to War Master is what you want, so you actually get the damage from the hits. And then I think I probably just want to, don't know if that's going to work on him or not actually. So we've got one there, we've got Tyrant already. I built up one of the Cold Hearts so that she has got good level of accuracy. This one, it's 238 accuracy to drop turn meter, decent crit damage, good crit rate, good speed, so she is looking good. We've then got Shiramani, who is going to come in as an AoE freeze. He's got his ability here, it's already booked up, which is quite useful, so actually got 100% chance of placing a freeze for one turn. What happens is she'll place the freeze, this guy will place HP burn, and the spiders will do damage to the main spider without me taking any damage at all. So that's a really good combo. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think we're going to use Draco, who's already kind of ready for clan boss. Got the right sort of speed, so he's going to be the person who does my decreased defense and weaken. So I think we're about there. Let's get into this, see what happens. So we're on level 17, first run. Let's give it a go. All I've done really is just kind of played around with gear and masteries. I need to run it on auto because auto is how you complete the missions. So we should do weaken and defense down. Perfect. Get the freezes everywhere. HP burns everywhere. See that? So now every time they were due to move, unfortunately Miscreated Monster just does a bit too much damage actually, but every time they are due to move, the main spider will take damage. So we've got one sucking of abilities, that's fine. We should now get the turn meter reduction from Cold Heart. I could actually do with Cold Heart being a bit quicker so that I get that before that first eat of spiders. But I think this is going to be a pretty good team composition. So interesting, they're going for Draco. I guess that's because he's basically set up at the moment for that clan boss team, and that clan boss team is not kind of super strong. But we do have a bit of protection for the team in this setup. I don't want to mess around with Draco too much because he's part of that unkillable comp, but actually he's not set up in a way that I would normally set him up for this. He would normally be a much tankier build. So you see those, we've got the freezers on again, shields coming up. HP burns, we're just doing a bit too much damage actually with this created monster, but because ideally you don't want the spiderlings to die so quickly. But we're still in good shape. Spider's going to get his next turn soon. Oh, that's perfect timing actually, so that looks good. So we're going to be within 2 minutes here, this is perfect. So this is a good run. No worries at all. That is stage 17 autoed, easily. I'm just going to run straight into 18, which is blue affinity. This team works really well for blue affinity as well, so we're going to go straight in for the same team and see if this runs on auto again. So the spiderlings will have a bit more tankability, which might mean that this works even better. HP burns on about 70 or 80% of them. Yeah, see that damage there. I actually probably need to reduce some of his HP so that he does less damage. But the thing is, once we get to Spider 20, that's going to be really helpful for us. But you see the amount of damage we've done already. Heartseeker's gone off, yes, perfect, before he's had that first turn. So we're going to get a lot of damage done here before the spider even gets his first turn, which is nice. Draco's tanking it up nicely for us. His job is done already. Decreased defense and weaken's already on. Throws it out again. He gets that back so often, it's insane actually. I don't have Draco, but pretty mental. And we're going to get, yeah, so that's the first suck in of spiders. 1 minute in. Half health gone already, so we're looking pretty strong. HP burn goes up, which is good. Draco's already used his abilities in terms of decreased defense and weaken, which is one of the reasons why we're nuking them down so easy. We'll see here, every time that the mini spiders move or are frozen and don't move, we're getting a good chunk of damage away, which is why Tyrant is so strong. This freeze burn combo is insanely good. And there we go, Spider 18 done. This composition is looking pretty good. So let's try 19. This is going to be tougher because we've got blue, blue, blue in the affinities. I'm going to try and run it anyway and just see if we can powerhouse our way through it, because ultimately we want a Spider 20 team, not a Spider 19 team. So this might actually just go ahead and work for us. Freeze comes on anyway, it's 100% to land. Did we get HP burns anywhere? Has that happened yet? It's happening now. Okay, so we've got HP burns across the board. First nuke from Cold Hearts come on nicely. Got quite a few HP burns on here, so we should get quite a lot of damage away. You see all the A1s just doing that reduction of turn meter. That's really important for spider teams. Just getting your mastery set up so that you get that off right. I think obviously Draco's taken a lot of damage, but we're in quite good shape actually. Spider's about to suck in his first meal. Probably going to kill Draco in the process. Oh, not quite. Oh, he's killed Miscreating Monster. That's maybe a problem actually. Probably is a problem for us. Can we get through without that massive shield is the question. The answer is probably no. I think we've got an auto team here on 17 and 18. I think I'm going to need to get us through 19. And then this team probably comes back into its own when we get to 20. Yeah, this team's not going to work here. So I'm going to kill this off here. It's actually not too far away, but we're going to kill it off here and then do some work on a 19 team. Okay, so I'm going for a team that potentially can manual this instead of going for an auto, so I don't need to auto stage 19. Basically trying to one-shot the boss before it gets a turn. So the idea here is I do AoE, weaken and decrease defense. I then put my HP burn on everyone that I can. So do we get 1, 2? I only got 2, that's pretty shameful. Could have done with more than that actually. I then go Heartseeker, reduce turn meter, decent hit. I do an AoE with the chance to stun and shield my team. Got a couple of stuns. I don't need to use my turn meter reduction yet, so I'm just going to go A1. I think I'm going to throw poisons on the boss. Got a couple on, that's good. I could go ally protection here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Ally protection and increased defense, so that these hits aren't taking as much of a toll. Let's go. I've only got 2 HP burns on. It's not a lot. I'm going to try and get a reduced turn meter on the boss. Didn't land. I think I'd go for A1 decreased turn meter. Now I've got my decreased turn meter all the way if it lands. It did, that's good. So we're in pretty good shape if I can get one last Cold Heart ability back in time. So I think we go AoE here. It's going to be close. If I'd got more spider burns on that first hit, that would have been almost perfect, really. Am I going to get a Cold Heart ability back? I don't think I am just yet. It is close. Is this my turn back yet or not? I'm not sure if it is. We're all still alive for now. I still need to land 2 more Cold Heart Seekers. She's 1 turn off. What's this one? Still 2 turns off. Don't know if I've got enough time. Might have my... yeah, I've got my stun back and my shield back. It's a decent shield. We go turn meter reduction here. Oh, this is going to be close. He's taking the flank, that's good. So I've got 1 more turn on that Heart Seeker. If I get that back, then I definitely win. And then I'm going to do ally protection here, because I just need to keep the Cold Heart alive. So I want them to target this guy, which they were anyway, but it's just kind of safety net really. Heart Seeker, and that should be that. Cool. So that is stage 19 done and dusted. On to stage 20, which needs to be an auto comp. So for stage 20, the only challenge we've potentially got here is Shiramani is a negative affinity. I'm going to try and run it as I did my previous setup and just see if this works anyway. So the idea is decrease defense and weaken. Goes on. We have an AoE freeze, which is good. We get the HP burns across the board. Big shield up. Reduce turn meter with A1s. Hopefully we get the Heart Seeker back before it gets a turn. Yep, so we're kind of half healthed it already. Every time they move, the HP burns kick in. All they're doing at the moment is eating away shields. We've still got that kind of reducing turn meter, so we've already done a good chunk of damage here. And a lot of the spiders are dead as well, so when it does suck the spiders in, it won't do as much damage. And it's not actually far away from a one-shot on this spider, to be fair, which is really good. So over half the damage is done, and we're just kind of now waiting for that reset of abilities really. The Shiramani now is probably in a bit of trouble. HP burn's gone back on, what, 4? Big shield's come back on. We've still got decreased defense and weaken on the boss, so that's good. Hopefully we get the freeze come back from Shiramani in a second. That's what we're waiting on. Yeah, so we've frozen up maybe half of them. And now I'm just waiting on a Heart Seeker basically to finish the job. So this has been a really successful, probably more successful than I could have hoped, effort at taking out the spider. 1 minute 30, auto run. That is Arbiter territory. Nice, nice, happy with that. So for Arena, I think there's a couple of ways you could go here. I could go with a speed lead in Skull Crown into Apothecary and I've got Apothecary built maximum speed, into Draco to weaken and decrease defense, and then into someone like a Big N to nuke. So this is quite a good idea. I don't have much crit damage in this guy, but I still think it's going to do quite a lot of damage. That's one option. Another option is I could go Torment as a kind of annoying tank that freezes, paired up with Shiramani, paired up with Tyrant. So we've got the freeze, we've got the burn, we've got the torment, and then somebody that just acts as an annoyance, like a tower. Tower is already being used for the unkillable comp, so I'm not going to mess around with him. But you could also use someone like a miscreated monster. You could use someone just like an apothecary to make sure that we go fast. You could even use somebody like a bad L. Just notice he's got 2 bad Ls, 260 bad Ls, which is mental in itself. But yeah, so there's a lot of champs in this team or this setup that could work for Arena. So let's just get into. I've built most of them up already. So let's just get into facing somebody. So we've got quite a high resistance team here. So I could go. We've got somebody who's going to freeze me if I do speed up. So I don't really want to do that. But I think we still go. I think maybe in this one we would do a tank setup. So we would use. Let's just get the setup right. 1, 2. There's Tyrant. 3. 1, 2, 3, and then maybe. So we could use someone like a Martyr in this setup. Don't know if I built Martyr up. No, Martyr's not built. Wasn't planning on using Martyr. Could use Bad L even actually. Yeah, let's try Bad L in this setup. So quite quick. Got the ability to cleanse those poisons off. Ideally you'd put them in a resistance set or something, or a stun set, something like that. But let's just see how this works here. So I guess the only thing with Bad L is if I heal, then maybe Torment is just going to freeze everyone up all the time. But let's see, yeah, it's a freeze straight away. But I can get an AoE freeze off here. Got 2 of them. I can get an AoE HP burn off here. Got all 4 of them. This should just mean that Torment goes completely nuts and pretty much owns this game. So you see the way I'm just constantly hitting. In fact, it's just completely unfair. Yeah, there's nothing they can do. He goes into his revived state and then that's him dead. So kind of shows how effective Torment is at this level. This is without really me pushing crazy gear on him as well. So we're just clearing it up. And this is different to what most people think Gold 4 team should be. Most people would be full offense, and perhaps they're not thinking about the team as much as perhaps they should do. But there you go. So that's quite an easy kind of medal farm. Let's go for this one. So we've got. This is almost the same as what I was talking about before. Speed lead, someone to speed them up, AoE decrease defense, and then somebody for protection. So I guess the first thing we should check is the team I've built: speed lead, speed up, reduce defense. See what we've done here? Those 3 are just mirrored over this side, and then Big 'Un comes in to nuke. Let's see if I'm quick enough firstly, because that's the important thing at this stage. Is if you're not quicker than your opponents, then you will never win these battles. But if you are, you go speed up first, decrease defense and weaken. One nuke. Actually, the return nuke has been strong, which is going to be a problem for us. We've got an unkillable, but I think it's not enough. So we didn't really want Big 'Un to die there on that return nuke. So we lost that one. It's interesting actually. So what I'll show you is that same setup again, but this time we sub out Big 'Un for Shiramani, and you'll see here what happens is, hopefully, instead of them cutting in and returning the nuke onto me, we should just freeze them. Do I go, yeah, AoE freeze, all of a sudden the game's completely changed. And that's why it's important to have a few people in a roster to be able to kind of switch people in and out to deal with the team you're facing. So we've got Lissandra here, who's going to be quick, decrease defense and weaken, shielding, nuker, and stuns. So I think what I'm going to do, because they're going to be speeding up, we're going to bring in Mr. Annoying, freeze, burns, I don't want anyone that's gonna, or do I? Yeah, we'll have. We'll put him in for the speed actually. Yeah. So I don't expect to go first here, but in them going first, they should get some freezes. So you've got 2 freezes off there. Let's throw it on auto. The idea is we just become super annoying for them. Really hard to beat. 2 freezes off. We should get our AoE. I don't think we've had the HP burn yet actually. AoE freeze, that's 3 of them frozen up. HP burn on there, so we've got this one here with the double, which means Tormund's going to start doing his thing. Then another one hits, double again. And at this stage, it's very difficult. Once you've got a couple of those double HP burn and freeze on at the same time, it's very difficult to be beaten. And we just kind of run it through. So I think we've got here, in amongst this setup now, a decent kind of roster of options. And it's just a case of pulling out the right people to deal with it. So let's see how we face that team with our speed comp. Let's try this. Hopefully what this is showing is there's always a way to beat the enemy team. You just got to kind of think your way through it. So again, you kind of wonder, I'm going to leave it there. But you get the idea. We've got enough champions there to kind of work our way through Gold 4 effectively enough. But yeah, so I think the biggest kind of positive for me, we've managed to move to an easy auto 20 spider team. So we've moved from what stage? 16 to 20. Really easy on auto. That team's looking very strong. We've got an array of options now for arena, albeit you kind of got to pick your way through it. Yeah, so that's been good fun. It's been Hell Hades, and that's been my account takeover of Silhouette Gaming. Thanks for watching.